They were emus. You can make your own emu, toy emu, out of a few odds and ends around the home. Here's what you'll need. 2 corks, 2 large safety pins, 2 toothpicks, 1 screw, piece of soft wood for the base, a safety knife to cut with, and if you like, you can also add a couple of cardboard feet, a couple of eyes, and some paper clips will help you to turn your emu into an emu game. But more about that later. First of all, the emu itself. Now, the first thing you'll need to do is to take the safety pins and with a pair of pliers cut away the safety part of the safety pin. In other words, you want to keep the point and the circle. So with pliers, you'll be able to snip it off like that, and that will become, believe it or not, the leg of an emu. Do the same thing with the other one, and you're ready to attach the legs to the base. Now, if you like, you can use feet. Doesn't really matter, but it does make it look a little bit more interesting. And push the sharp end of the safety pin into the soft wood. And then, about 3 centimetres away, do the same thing with the other leg. There we are. Now, you'll need to adjust those until the circles are exactly the same height. I've done that with another set of emu legs. There they are. Now, I know that the body, when it's placed between those legs, will swing freely because the circles are lined up very carefully. Now, the body itself is the large cork, largest cork you can find. What you'll need to do to that is to take one of the toothpicks and put it through the centre of the cork, starting from one side. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're using wooden or plastic toothpicks, provided they have fairly sharp points. Now, because they are sharp points, you'll need to be careful when you do this. Just work it backwards and forwards like so. Don't push too hard, and make sure that your fingers are well and truly away from the other side through which you're expecting to see the toothpick emerge. And when it does so, even it up and then take the large screw and with your fingers screw it gently into the base of the cork. The screw will act as a weight to bring the body of the emu back straight each time after it swings. Now, you can test it at this point to make sure that it will swing, and you can see that it does swing between my fingers fairly well, like a little seesaw. So the body of the emu is ready. Now comes the neck and head. For the neck, you use the other toothpick and you push this in at an angle towards what will now become the front of the body. Once again, be careful your fingers aren't too close to the points. And then for the head, you use the smaller of the 2 corks and push that in on an angle. And with a bit of imagination, you can see that it's starting to resemble an emu or an ostrich or a roadrunner or any other long-necked bird that you like. Now, what we need to do is to place that on the legs. But before we do that, we can decorate the little bird if we want to. How can you do that? I'm glad you asked. Well, all sorts of things. The imagination runs wild. You can, if you like, take a safety knife and cut away part of the small cork for the head, down and across, so that it looks more like that. And it's starting to look a little bit more like a funny old face. With the eyes in position here, and with your felt pens, it may look even more amusing. There we are there. Well, you've guessed it, I've already prepared another neck and head and coloured it as well, and that's the one that I'm going to use. There we are. For the body, I've done the same sort of thing there. Coloured it, this time red, and I found a tiny little feather, and I've put that in as a tail as well. Now, place the neck into the body like that, and then just check to see that it's all fairly well balanced, just by holding it between your fingers. It should stay close to upright, and it is. So all we need to do now is to attach the emu body and head to its legs. That's easy to do. Just push the toothpick at the side in through the hole there and the other hole there, and you might need a bit of adjusting. If it's leaning too far forward, you can make the neck stand a little bit upright, a little bit more upright. If it's leaning too far back, make the neck go forward a little bit. If it doesn't seem to be swinging too well, you can even add a little piece of plasticine to the screw to make it swing more effectively. Now, that's a swinging emu, but you can turn it into a game by taking, first of all, a little container of water. That'll be the pool out of which the emu will drink in a moment. And then, if you have a friend or several friends, you take it in turns, seeing who will be the person to make the poor old emu dip its head right into the water. Now, you need some weights to make the emu top heavy, and half a paper clip is an ideal weight. Straighten the paper clip out, then with your pliers or some other wire cutter, snip it off so that you have a little U-shaped piece like that, and you use that as a weight. Now, if there are two of you playing the game, you take it in turns. First person places one of these paperclip weights around the neck of the bird, and it tilts forward a little bit. Second person now has a turn. Remember, the person who makes it dip into the water will be the loser. Back to the first person's turn. And each one makes it a little bit harder for the next one. Next turn, and this time will it go or won't it? Almost. Yes, it did. So the person who made the head go into the water is the loser of the game. So that's a game you can play with your toy emu, or if you'd prefer, you needn't worry about those paperclip weights at all. You can just place your emu on the mantelpiece and let it swing away to its heart's content.